Hi, I'm Tracy Zboril,
And I'm Cara Hewett.
and we are the founders of Soul Happy. And today we're kind of excited to talk to you guys about what we think is just a very typical thing that all of us have to deal with, which is anxiety.
Ooh, who doesn't have anxiety? And as therapists, we know all about anxiety.
And so it's the fall as we're taping this, as we're videotaping this, it's September. Maybe some of you have had a little bit of relaxation over the summer, and I'm just feeling like the momentum gearing up. Back to school. I don't know, like the social season, events seem to be coming.
People are back from their vacations, they're gearing up.
And we're actually excited about some of the stuff that we've got on our calendar, but it's also like a momentum. We've got some public speaking coming up. We've got some seminars that we're venturing into, and we're really excited about it. But it's the momentum is building, and I think it's only natural, even if it's all good, to be feeling a little bit like stressed. And then how about the fact that the momentum is going to keep building right into the holiday season?
Oh gosh,
right?
Ugh.
So the other thing when we talk about stress, and I think it just kind of came to us today because as I drove to Cara's house, I was stuck in a crazy quagmire of traffic.
So, do any of you out there have to deal with rush hour traffic? Most of us, right?
And any of you who live in big cities, when you're talking about like those, like we've got like highways flying over and under other highways. It's like,
and sometimes it's gridlock trying to get through. Just a mile. You think, gosh, am I ever going to get to that exit or whatever it is? It's going through your mind.
And so like if it's in the morning, and I'm assuming a lot of people are driving to work, and I think that it's a really tough way to start your work day, but like what the heck choice do you have? I mean, heck, if we all had helicopters, we would do something that would be easier, but.
So if you're anxious anyway, or you have that label of anxiety and you're on the road and you're dealing with this kind of traffic, it just magnifies what would seemingly be a start to your day that could have been positive, and all of a sudden, because of the traffic you're in and the anxiety that you're dealing with in the first place, all of a sudden it's just your heart starts racing. That feeling.
Well, I mean, you might arrive at work just like a little bit, on edge, a little stressed out.
Right.
And
not a good way to start your day.
And what Cara and I do with the Soul Happy technique, for those of you who are kind of familiar with it, is it's really based on the premise that we are capable of rewiring our brains. And if you think about the negative thoughts that might be repetitively going through your mind through, say, a 30-minute drive through traffic. Today, it literally took me over an hour. It was like an hour and 15 minutes. For those of you like in the LA area, I'm sure an hour drive in rush hour is kind of typical. So over the course of an hour, how many times does something kind of negative go through your mind? Like, oh, wow. God, what is it? Do you think there's an accident up there? Or look at this guy in front of me. Did you really have to be in my lane, dude? Or even just kind of glancing at other people's, in their cars, and you can just see everybody's kind of like, Wah.
Anybody heard of road rage?
Right.
That's where that happens. And so if you're having those feelings and your hand is on the wheel and you're starting to all those negative thoughts, well, what we know about those negative thoughts is that you're actually building neuronal pathways that are all negative, and they're following those same negative guidelines, and it has to do with frequency. It has to do with emotions, frequencies, and these things. And actually what's occurring in the brain is these neuronal pathways are forming, and they're all forming in that same thread of negativity.
And like a little catchy phrase that kind of sums up what Cara just said is thoughts that fire together, wire together. So in our technique, we kind of refer to it as, little clusters end up being formed, clusters of negativity. So over the course of, say, a full hour in traffic, let's say you've had, 20, 30, 40 negative thoughts just flip through your mind. You're actually forming, if you can think of it as you're forming a new negative cluster. So what we want to do is give you some tools so that you can avoid negative clusters and think about positivity rewiring and positivity, then, like positive firing together, wires together, positive little clusters, so that you arrive at work much more fresh and ready than all those other people who are arriving all, ugh.
So 2 tools real quickly, and this is easy to do when you're sitting there in that traffic jam. All of a sudden those negative thoughts start. This is 2 tools that you can do.
Okay, so the first one involves cute little bracelets that we call mala beads, that are called mala beads. And if you don't have one of these, you should. Or if you happen to be a male, let's see, what could they use?
Just put them.
Fingers, then just you would use your fingers. And what we want you to do is come up with a phrase, like an example of a phrase would be, I am safely driving, I'm safely traveling and looking forward to a productive day. And what that does is it takes the perspective about the negative traffic jam and the fact that you're lucky enough to be in a car driving safely to a place of employment or someplace great that you're going. So it's putting the positive spin on wherever it is you're headed, and it's also putting a positive spin on what's to come. As opposed to when I finally freaking get there, I'm going to be so freaking late that I know I'm going to be all stressed out.
You're shifting your perspective by utilizing this mantra. So every bead, that's where you say your mantra. You go all the way around the bracelet. And before you know it, you're having a sense of calmness. The ancients, and we know this mindfulness movement, we're all talking about deep breaths. Deep breaths are great, mindfulness great. This is just one more tool to add to your toolbox that will help to gain that sense of peace and calmness that you're looking for when you have those anxious feelings.
And also, like deep breathing, it puts you into kind of the alpha brainwave state, which is a more relaxed state. But what I really like about the mantra going on, and you restating it and restating it and restating it, is the thoughts that fire together, wire together.
So that's one great tool. Get some mala beads. Even put them in your car. Reach down your ashtray and pick it up and do your mantras.
That's what you do. Actually, I have seen a lot of guys now with a more. You know what? Actually, a lot of guys are wearing mala beads now that I'm saying that. With there's like a more masculine version of these.
So tool number 2 is this. Imagine this, that you're on this interstate and you've got all these little cards in front of you and you're feeling this anxious feeling again. Imagine yourself outside of that car. You're above
bird's eye view, like a bird's eye view.
You're above it. Go even higher then. Reach up there or be up there and look down.
So like you're in a helicopter hovering above the scene. And literally in my case today, there are expressways on top, like I said, of expressways. And I pictured myself up there looking down, and all of a sudden all those little cars they look kind of small. Everybody starts to look kind of uniform, and everybody's like little ants marching, and you suddenly have a perspective of all these cars we're all in the same boat. Instead of like, what the hell, dude? Get out of my way. Instead, the perspective is not individualistic, but like little ants marching, going on their day. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Everybody's in the grind. So what that does is that separates you out of that negativity that you might have had before and rise above it. And so when you separate like that, it helps to, again, calm your body and your mind, so that you don't take it so personally, because that's the problem. You're taking it all so personally and it's all affecting you. Well, taking it to that perspective separates you from that.
It separates the individualistic piece, and that shifting that perspective. If you think about it, you're suddenly thinking, "Oh, that poor guy next to me. He's just as stressed out as I am, trying to get to wherever he has to go." Like, as opposed to get out of my way, or instead. You're all in the same boat. Nobody's happy to be in that traffic jam, and you're all in the same boat.
So that is your 2 tips for today. In this newsletter, we're hoping to get out more often, and we are really excited about some really important things coming up with Soul Happy, so stay tuned. And of course, shameless plug, the Soul Happy book. Check it out on Amazon, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Now go have a really great rush hour drive home.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.